Hi there, I'm Connor, I'm Off the Cuff, and today I am talking to you about My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2. My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 is the sequel to the 2002 film My Big Fat Greek Wedding. It is written and starring Vardalos, as well as Josh Corbett. He doesn't write it, he is one of the actors. And it is ultimately catching us up with this big, lovable, endearing Greek family, and then the movie realizes it needs to have a plot, so they throw in a wedding at the end because, hey, the word wedding is in the title. So, what do I think of My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2? I don't like this movie for a number of reasons. I never saw the first one. I wanted to, but I just was running out of time. This movie is leaving theaters, so I wanted to catch it before it left theaters. And I don't think I needed to watch the first one. I think it's pretty apparent you can follow along without having watched that. I think this movie is very loud, very obnoxious at times, and it feels this way because the way these actors are performing the script, and these big, loud, bubbly personalities, is contrasted by a lack of style behind the camera. It's very sitcom style of filming, very deadpan, not a whole lot of style, not a whole lot of creativity behind the shots, so I don't feel like I'm being transported to a world in which this kind of zany, loud, stylized kind of personalities would exist. I feel like if I saw these people in real life, they would just annoy me. So that was disappointing. I also don't think the movie's very well edited, and for comedy, editing is very important. It's not something you really pay a whole lot of attention to when you're watching a good comedy, but when you're watching a bad comedy, a lot of the time it's the editing that you noticed. Because this one, almost after every comedic line, there would be a cut, so there was not a lot of flow. Somebody would say, "Get out of my lasagna," cut, and then it would cut to somebody going, "I'm not eating your lasagna," cut. So there was not a sense of flow. It was very detached, and that was disappointing. And not only disarming the comedy, it kind of disarms a lot of the chemistry, especially between Vardalos and Corbett. I don't really think they have a whole lot of chemistry to begin with. They're very wooden together, but having the editing during these scenes where they're supposed to be kind of supposed to be romantic, very not so, especially when all the editing is occurring. And I mean, they're not that great when there isn't a whole lot of editing to begin with, so that only adds to it. This movie has like way too many subplots, a whole lot of subplots that don't really go anywhere. All these subplots do is have a joke, cut to another subplot, and when it finally gets back to subplot A, they just repeat the same joke. Like the dad, "I want to prove that I am the direct descendant of Alexander the Great." And then you have the daughter character's like, "I'm gonna go to college." And then the mom's like, "Don't leave me. Oh, this family, it's so weird." And then we have the dad character being like, "Hey, I love you. I love you too." And then just kind of goes into all these subplots in a cycle. And that's really all there is. There's not a whole lot to talk about here, and very long. It's like an hour and a half, and it feels too long, and they're really stretching to make this feature length, I feel. I think would have worked better as a TV show. Apparently there was a TV show based on My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and it was not very good. So maybe this concept just doesn't work. I can see how this could potentially be appealing, but as it is, this movie does not really work all that well. As for things I do like, I mean, I like some of the musical cues. There's White Wedding by Billy Idol, only it's sung in Greek. That was kind of weird, kind of funny. And it's not bad. I mean, it's a bad movie, but I didn't like it. But it's not terrible. It's not without a charm, without a certain energy, without its own identity. So there is that. If you love the first My Big Fat Greek Wedding, I'm sure you'd probably like this. I never saw the first one. Can't really vouch for it. But as it is, I'm going to give My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 a 4 out of 10. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'm Connor. See you later.